On the first day of the semester, my broke roommate gave me a red berry. She said it was a specialty from her hometown. I didn't have the heart to refuse, so I ate it right there. I never expected that my looks would start to fade, or that my temper would spiral out of control. Everything I'd learned since childhood, dance, equestrianism, began to slip from my memory. My parents and older brother grew increasingly impatient with me, treating me like a disgrace. My roommate, on the other hand, started getting fitter and prettier by the day. Despite never having touched a piano, paintbrush, or chessboard in her life, she suddenly mastered them all, becoming the undisputed campus queen. Even my own parents couldn't stop praising her. Eventually, I realized that every time we took an exam, my roommate's score was an exact match to what I had estimated for myself. I couldn't hold back anymore, and went to confront her, only to overhear my parents talking with her. Bella truly is our biological daughter. With just one achievement drain, she easily took back everything that was supposed to be hers. That was when I learned the truth. The berry my roommate Bellacine gave me wasn't some hometown snack. And Bella wasn't just some ordinary scholarship student. She was my parents' biological daughter, the one they had found years ago but hid by my side disguised as a charity case. I wanted to confront them, but my brother ran me down with his sports car right then and there. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on that day, the day Bella offered me the red berry as a gift from home. So you like stealing people's achievements? Steal away. This time, I'll make sure you get more than you bargained for. Freshman year. My parents insisted I live in the dorms to experience the campus atmosphere. After standing in formation all morning for orientation drills and organizing my luggage, a red berry was suddenly thrust in front of me. This is a specialty I brought from my hometown. It's for you. Please don't be offended, okay? Her voice was timid, as if she were terrified I'd say no. I paused, looking up to meet Bellacine's cautious gaze. She looked pale and immediately looked away, as if I were some kind of monster. She was exactly like this in my last life. Before I could even speak, I'd already been labeled the bully. Sure enough, Sophie, the roommate sleeping across from me, immediately chimed in. Hey, princess, we're going to be sharing a room for 4 years. You aren't going to disrespect her like that, are you? Seriously, the other roommate Sarah added. Or is the princess too high and mighty to hang out with us normal people? I was raised by my grandfather. He always taught me never to look down on anyone. He used to say that regular people were often more sincere than the wealthy. But sometimes their pride is a lot more fragile. In my past life, seeing Bella's apprehension, I had immediately taken the berry and ate it to be polite. The fruit was small and melted in my mouth. I never imagined that one tiny berry would completely destroy my life. After adopting me, my parents were always lukewarm, except for the annual ritual they performed to find their biological relatives. However, they did give me the standard education for a blue blood family. Classical arts were the foundation, horse riding and fencing were standard, sailing and dance were thrown in too. Not wanting to disappoint them, I studied hard and excelled at everything. I had planned to go to a prestigious university in Europe. But right before I left, my mother suddenly said she didn't want me too far from home and forced me into this university. A good school, sure, but far from my dream. That would have been fine. I figured I could apply for grad school abroad later. But as soon as I started here, my life became a nightmare. First, I gained weight for no reason. My skin withered. At 18, I looked 38. Then the skills I had practiced thousands of times, dancing, riding, sailing, fencing, I simply forgot how to do them. The hardest part to accept was the exams. The knowledge was clear in my head, and I wrote everything down perfectly on the paper. But every time I checked my grades, I got a 0. I used my family connections to pull the exam papers and check the security footage. All I saw were blank pages and a video of myself sitting there, never answering a single question. It was like I had taken the test in my imagination. I refused to give up. I kept checking the footage, annoying the student council and the proctors to no end. They whispered behind my back, calling me crazy, saying ugly people act out for attention. In stark contrast to me was my roommate Bella. She went from being a frumpy country girl to a radiant beauty. Her body became perfect, tiny waist, toned legs, and she effortlessly took the title of campus queen. At the same time, she joined tons of clubs and showed insane talent for things she had never touched before. She mastered everything instantly. She became known as the school's genius. People on the campus forums compared us constantly. During those days, every time I opened the app or pulled back my bed curtains, I felt like I couldn't breathe. What hurt the most was how much my parents and brother praised her. It wasn't until I went home for break, mentally shattered, and heard my parents laughing with Bella that I realized the truth. Bella was the biological daughter they had found. They were afraid I would outshine her, so they put us in the same school. They made me eat that fruit to steal every achievement I had earned through sweat and tears. When my brother found me listening, he didn't even ask why I was upset. He decided I was just jealous of Bella and ran me over with his sports car. He reversed over me repeatedly until I took my last breath. They didn't have to do that. I was lucky they adopted me. I owed my life and my success to them. If they had just asked, I would have gladly stepped aside for Bella. But they shouldn't have stolen everything I worked for. And they certainly shouldn't have killed me. Now that I'm back, I looked at the red berry, ignoring the jeers of my other two roommates, and slipped it into my pocket. Thanks. Seeing that I didn't eat it immediately, Sophie sneered. Wow, really playing the princess card, huh? I heard that before the Jiang family adopted you. You were just an orphan. What are you pretending for? Do you need us to steam it and serve it on a silver platter? Sarah giggled. Don't forget your roots, princess. The malice was so thick it felt exactly like my last life. Back then, after my body and face started changing, these two would team up to mock me constantly. I hadn't understood what was happening, so I'd just hide in my bunk and cry. My stomach suddenly growled, giving me an idea. Since Bella loves stealing other people's achievements so much, I'll just gift her everyone's achievements. I'd love to see how my dear mom, dad, and brother clean up that mess. I looked Sophie and Sarah up and down. Before I even spoke, their expressions shifted to insecurity. I spoke lightly. I didn't realize your view of the upper class was so narrow. I shook my head, acting like I couldn't be bothered to explain, and waved the red berry at Bella. Don't worry. This is a gift from a roommate, I wouldn't waste it. It's just that we're about to eat. My family has a habit of eating fruit after meals. But if you guys want it that bad, why don't I give it to you? I reached into my pocket to pull the berry out. The three of them exchanged a quick glance. Sophie shook her head immediately. Bella gave that to you. We wouldn't want to take it. Yeah, exactly. Sarah added, acting like Sophie's echo. I smirked internally. Just as I thought. Whoever eats this berry gets their achievement stolen. Just then my phone pinged. It was a rare message from my mother, Catherine Chu. She told me to get along with my classmates, be kind, and not to act entitled because of my family background. To help me with this, she self-righteously cut my allowance to $500 a month. She froze the cards Grandpa gave me. She demanded I eat only in the cafeteria to experience the life of ordinary people. In my past life, I was so desperate for her attention that I was thrilled by her advice. I immediately told her I was getting along great with my roommates. I not only played nice but also took on all the cleaning duties in the dorm. Eventually, Bella and the others started throwing their dirty laundry at me to wash. I even had to pay for the dorm's daily supplies. I barely had enough money to eat. I had to lower my standard of living so much that I thought my skin problems and weight gain were just malnutrition. Until I went home early due to illness and stumbled upon that conversation. Until I died, and she stood over me, looking down with pure hatred. She said, "Everything you have belongs to me. I'm just taking back what's mine." She had no idea that I was forcibly adopted by the Jiang family. Just because I looked a little like her, they used my blood for annual sacrifices to find her. I actually had 3 other families willing to adopt me back then. So in this life, nobody is going to control me. Freshmen were still exploring the campus, so most people were eating in the cafeteria. The cafeteria served something called smart soup, supposedly developed by professors at the medical school. Rumor had it that drinking it improved memory and cognitive function. Naturally, most students grabbed a bowl every day. I planned to put the berry in the smart soup. In my last life, These classmates mocked me on the forums and looked at me with disdain. I wanted to see if they'd still look at Bella with admiration after losing their own talents. Bella and her crew stuck to me like glue. One minute they said the cafeteria was too big and scary, the next they claimed they didn't know the layout and made me get their food. I did everything they asked. After we ate a few bites, I clutched my stomach. Bella was watching me closely. "Riley, are you okay?" I acted like I couldn't speak, covering my mouth and rushing toward the restroom. Bella followed me, grabbing tissues and asking questions, trailing me right into the bathroom. She didn't know that I have a weak stomach. If I eat solids before soup, I usually get nauseous. This time was no exception. I turned around and unleashed a torrential, foul-smelling hell right in front of Bella, successfully gassing her out of the room. As soon as I slipped out the other door, Catherine called. I silenced my phone, grabbed a white lab coat from a rack, and slipped into the kitchen area. To make things efficient, the cafeteria served the smart soup from a tap connected to a massive industrial cauldron in the back. They cleaned out the medicinal herbs once a day. I thoughtfully rinsed the red berry, pretended to slip, and watched as the berry fell right into the boiling cauldron. I slipped out the side door before answering the phone. Catherine's screaming voice immediately assaulted my ears. "Where have you been? Why aren't you answering? Did you give the gift to your roommates? Did you eat with them? Did they give you anything back? Did you keep it safe?" I put it on speaker. Several people walking by turned to look. Before school started, Catherine had prepared expensive gifts for me to give my roommates. Back then, I thought she cared about my social life. Now I realize she just wanted to use me to funnel gifts to Bella. It was only after I gave out the luxury goods that Bella offered me the local specialty. What a calculation. They wanted me to eat the berry, but they set it up as a gift exchange, so I couldn't refuse without looking rude. I suppressed my rage and made my voice sound pained. "Mom, I ate something bad. I just got out of the bathroom. I can't eat right now. Can I skip dinner? I want to go to the campus clinic." Playing the victim? I can do that too. Someone nearby immediately offered help. "Hey, you look terrible. Do you need a hand?" Hearing a stranger's voice, Catherine had to pivot. Go then. Your grandfather spoiled you rotten, can't even handle ordinary food? Make sure you apologize to your roommates later." The stranger looked confused, as if wondering why I had to apologize for being sick. I endured the pain, listened to my mother's lecture, and then asked two upperclassmen for directions to the clinic. They were very kind and walked me there. On the way, I apologized profusely for delaying their dinner and wasting their time. Eventually, they felt awkward and stopped me. "Hey, don't worry about it. We'd do this for anyone." Maybe I swallowed too much air, because the reaction was intense. I threw up several more times. The two girls missed the cafeteria hours taking care of me. I got in for drip and excused myself from classes with the counselor. I rested at the clinic until dinner, treated the two girls to a meal outside campus, and then finally returned to the dorm. As soon as I walked in, Bella started pouring me water, acting deeply concerned. But I knew what she really wanted to know was the fate of the red berry. So I asked, "Bella, what kind of fruit was that? It was delicious. Do you have any more at home? I want to buy some to send to my parents and brother." "No," Bella blurted out. Her voice was loud and sharp, totally unlike her usual timid self. The dorm door was open, and several girls walking by jumped in fright, staring at us. I froze, looking confused. "Why? It was really good. I genuinely want to buy some. I don't mean anything else by it. I'll pay whatever the market price is plus labor and shipping, okay? I'll even add a finder's fee. I just really want my family to taste such amazing fruit." I looked sincere, pulling out my wallet. The girls at the door lingered, curious. Bella's face shifted colors. It took her a while to calm down. It's out of season. Plus, the fruit is too small. Shipping is hard. It wouldn't be worth it for you." I had an epiphany, and thanked Bella profusely, praising her thoughtfulness for saving me money. After all, I sighed, I only have $500 for living expenses this month. Hearing that, one of the girls at the door gasped. 500? Is that enough? My family is pretty average, And my mom gives me 1,000 just so I don't go hungry. I lowered my eyes, my face still pale from the vomiting. My mother says she wants to teach me independence. Everyone looked at me with pity. That night, a post on the school forum blew up. That gorgeous freshman who got dropped off by a chauffeur? She only gets 500 a month. I'm starting to wonder if my middle-class family is actually rich. Someone posted a photo of me in the comments, expressing shock at my allowance. Someone else recognized me from the photo and doxed me. Riley Jiang, adopted daughter of the Beijing Jiang family. Expert in piano, chess, calligraphy, painting, riding, archery. They listed every award I had ever won. The list was so long you had to scroll twice. Sophie screamed, asking if it was true. I nodded naturally, not mentioning the sleepless nights of practice. Then I caught a glimpse of Bella at her desk. Her knuckles were white, veins popping, her eyes full of hate. She grabbed her phone and started typing furiously. I smiled slightly, pretending not to notice. The thread had derailed. It went from discussing allowances to debating whether the Jiang family was abusing me by giving me such a pittance. Riley Jiang, I sent your brother to pick you up. Get your ass back here immediately. Along with the forum drama came Catherine's rage. We tried to teach you independence, and this is how you repay us? Spreading rumors and ruining the family name? You really think you're something special? I stood by the window. I knew exactly what awaited me at home. In my last life after starting college, the driver only dropped me off once. After that, I took the bus. I rarely even took a cab because I had no money. They claimed they were training me, but I had seen the family car picking Bella up several times when I was returning from my part-time jobs. Back then, I told myself not to overthink it. I told myself maybe Bella and my brother were dating. I never imagined they kept me away so Bella could go home more often. This time, I had supposedly eaten the fruit and was causing a scene. If I went back, I might never come out. I closed my eyes. My brother Bryce's twisted, crazy face flashed in my mind. I shuddered. I rushed downstairs to hide, but Bryce was already there. His face was so dark it looked like a storm cloud. He grabbed my wrist and dragged me toward the car. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind. Riley, is that you? We wanted to ask if you'd host the freshman gala this year. Thanks to that forum post, the student council had noticed me early. A group of students approached, looking excited, but their expressions changed to shock when they saw Bryce crushing my arm. I bit my lip. When I looked up, my face was a mask of tragic vulnerability. Brother, can you take a little less blood this year? I really want to help find the real Miss Jiang so she doesn't suffer. But taking blood from the heart, it really hurts. Under the moonlight, a beautiful girl crying, the student council members were horrified. Blood from the heart. Why are they taking heart blood? What is the Jiang family doing? I thought Riley was adopted? Is this how they treat her? Doesn't an adopted daughter's life matter? Actually, in my past life, the Jiangs had stopped the blood rituals that year, switching to a master's spiritual ceremony. Back then, I thought they had given up on finding her, and I felt guilty. I tried so hard to be a good daughter to make up for it. Bryce's face turned even uglier. He glared at me. What the hell are you talking about? I flinched, my voice trembling. Please, Bryce. I'm begging you. The chest isn't a place you show people easily. The Jiangs, afraid of rumors, always gave me the best scar removal cream. So for years, no one knew about the scars over my heart. Bryce dumped me at the dorm entrance. With everyone watching, forcing me into the car would confirm the abuse allegations. The student council members, sweating, told me firmly that I should call the police, not let the Jiangs control me. I gave a bitter smile and shook my head. Suddenly, the forum had a few new threads. People started creating conspiracy theories about my awards. My thin frame and pale face became proof of the abuse. My parents and Bryce bombarded my phone with angry texts and calls. Catherine even threatened to cut me off completely. I put these abusive calls on speakerphone in the dorm, letting Bella hear every word. She hid a smile. She kept following me around, telling me not to take it to heart. She said my parents just loved the real Miss Jiang too much. I smiled and said nothing. The old me would have been heartbroken. But now? I didn't care. Because I knew their love had nothing to do with me. Soon Bella started getting restless. The student council skipped the audition process and selected me directly as the host for the freshman gala. In my last life, this gala was where I first started feeling the drain. I had memorized the script, but on stage, my mind went blank. I almost choked. But this time, I walked onto the stage with my co-host, speaking fluently and radiating confidence. The applause was thunderous. The forum threads shifted again. Some were jealous, some envious. But quietly, a new type of post started appearing. People complaining about their mental state. Sometimes they felt great, other times, they felt empty. Everyone was confused. Meanwhile, at the desk next to mine, Bella was staring into a mirror. This was her new routine. 2 hours a day, just looking at herself. Sarah noticed it too. She stared at Bella for a while, then suddenly said, "Bella, your skin is acting so weird lately. 1 minute it's ghostly pale, the next it's dark. And your pores are huge today, you look like my mom." Bella whipped her head around, her eyes cold. Sarah jumped and shut her mouth. After a long silence, Bella asked in a sinister voice, "Riley, did you really eat the red berry I gave you?" "Of course," I said. "Didn't I ask you to get me more? Did you forget? You really ate it?" Bella stared at me. "Why? Do you regret giving it to me?" "Too late. If you want it back, you'll have to go fishing in the campus septic tank." Not long after, Catherine sent another message demanding I stop being rude to my roommates. I swiped it away, ignoring it. But starting that day, Bella shadowed me everywhere. She kept trying to buy me food. I refused, obviously. My excuse was ready-made. "I have no money. I can't pay you back." Soon after, Catherine transferred me $2,000. She told me to treat my classmates better. I took the money and immediately got a work-study job serving food in the cafeteria. Bella didn't have time to follow me anymore. She had signed up for 12 different clubs. I worked in the cafeteria for a month as the weather turned cold. On the weekend, Catherine suddenly came to pick me up for dinner. She said if my roommates wanted to come, they were welcome. I had been adopted at 8. In 10 years, I had eaten at the same table as Catherine maybe 5 times. She had never once cared about my friends. If this wasn't a trap, nothing was. The reason was obvious. My body hadn't changed, but Bella's body was changing too much. I pulled a notice from the cafeteria work group chat and showed it to Catherine. "There's been a hygiene scare at the cafeteria. We have to deep clean everything. I don't have time." It was true. The forum was full of people claiming they were getting stupider. Someone blamed the food. Catherine hadn't expected me to refuse. Her face darkened. "Riley Jiang, I am your mother. Do I have to beg you to come home for a meal?" She was loud, attracting attention. I dropped to my knees right there on the sidewalk, embracing the role of the victim. "Mom, please don't be mad. I'll come home. You can take as much heart blood as you need. Just please don't be mad." My eyes filled with tears, my shoulders shaking. Catherine froze. Her face cycled through red, purple, and white. She was a terrible actor. Or maybe she just couldn't handle me going off script. She hissed, "Riley, think carefully. If you don't come back now, don't ever come back." Bella popped out of nowhere. "Riley, even if you're unhappy, that's your home. They raised you. Apologize quickly, and your mom will forgive you." Today, Bella must have absorbed someone's makeup skills. She looked like a fairy. I acted surprised to see her. "Bella, why do you look like that? You said you never wore makeup. How are you so good at it?" "Ugh, why are you talking about me?" "Bella acte del please. Hurry up and apologize to your mom." "Mom," I whispered, head bowed. "It's not that I don't want to go. It's just, the knife really hurts. Can we take a little less blood this year?" I ripped my shirt open. Layers of jagged scars over my heart were exposed to the crowd. It hurts every time I breathe. Really, tears streamed down my face. Bella froze. Catherine froze. She never expected I would strip in public. The students around us stared at the scars in horror. Then someone screamed, "Holy shit, that's murder. Stabbing the heart for blood? That's attempted murder." The crowd exploded. I quickly covered my chest, shaking my head, tears flying. No, no. My mother just loves her biological daughter too much. It's over, someone gasped. The Jiangs brainwashed her. Look at those scars. They've done it dozens of times. She said it hurts to breathe. Is there a med student here? Someone check her. A student rushed over, dropping a stack of books, and grabbed my wrist to check my pulse. Catherine finally snapped out of it, her face ashen. I raise you and this is the thanks I get. She turned and stormed off. Mom. I pushed the med student away and chased after her, trembling. But after a few steps, I tripped and fell hard, scraping my knees. The students swarmed around me. Catherine didn't look back. Her car sped away, leaving a cloud of exhaust. Bella stood outside the crowd, her eyes gleaming with satisfaction. I caught her gaze, rolled my eyes back, and fainted amidst the screams of the crowd. I became a living case study for the medical school. The administration asked if I wanted help taking legal action. I refused. I said that although the adoption wasn't my choice, they had raised me for years. I had to be grateful. This statement was leaked online. People called me the brainwashed Cinderella. The Jiang Corporation had fans, and many didn't believe the abuse allegations. But my schoolmates defended me fiercely online. Amidst the chaos, Bella looked at me and said, Riley, isn't this bad? They did raise you after all. She was bent over a desk drawing industrial blueprints. She had never studied architecture, yet she drew like a possessed master. Her face, however, was looking rough. Her eyebrows were thick and bushy, her nose bulbous. She looked less like a girl and more like a trucker. But her body was the opposite. Huge chest, gravity-defying rear, but legs that looked like they could squat 300 pounds. It was grotesque. I lay on my bed stretching, scrolling through forum posts of students wailing about their lost talents. I said casually, Bella, since when do you know architecture? It's like that upperclassman's talent jumped into your body. Bella stiffened. She stammered, I'm impossible. I just felt like drawing. Yeah, I said. That guy practiced for years and lost it all overnight. I tooted. And this guy trained his kicks since childhood. Gone. Bella went silent. I smirked. In my last life, she acted so arrogant. Turns out her nerves are paper thin. The university launched investigations into every department, but couldn't find a cause for the mass amnesia. More and more students were affected. Even some professors suddenly forgot their life's work. Bella grew increasingly anxious, because she realized that among the victims, I wasn't one of them. My body hadn't changed. In fact, I easily won the Campus Go tournament. As finals approached, the atmosphere on campus was terrifying. Bella started bringing me food and drinks constantly. I kept refusing. Can't afford to pay you back. She tried to force it on me, so I moved into the library. Exams came and went. I answered every question perfectly, just like always. After exam week came winter break. In my last life, I went to stay with Grandpa. This time, my father arranged a job for me in the company's PR department. He even rented me a small apartment near the office, so I could live alone. Bella pursed her lips at me. Are you going? Nope, I said instantly. Why? She was shocked. PR department. Facing the public. If I took the job, everyone would think the abuse scandal was just a stunt I pulled to gain power in the company. Not happening. Plus, PR works 24/7. Why would I slave away for that family? I ignored her, packed my bag, and left school. Destination, Miami. I was entering the winter sailing regatta. For 10 days, silence. Then the group chat started buzzing. Upperclassmen complained that grades were late. In college, nobody worries about getting an A, they worry about failing. But the delay was making everyone nervous. Then the student council president was called back to review exam footage. Then 2 more members. Then 10. Hundreds of student leaders were recalled to campus. Rumors flew. Then the police started calling. A PhD student had forgotten his thesis research and scored a 112 on his final. He had a mental breakdown and called the cops. I rushed back from Miami on New Year's Eve. The police questioned me for hours about everything since enrollment. I told the truth, including the red berry I accidentally dropped in the soup. Anything else strange? My roommate is weird, I said. I showed them the photos I'd secretly taken of Bella. Her name is Bellachine. She's super smart. She told me she never studied anything but basics, yet she does professional makeup, conducts chemistry experiments, and draws blueprints like a pro. But the weirdest thing is her body. I laid out the photos for comparison. Even I could see it. These cops, trained to spot details, saw it instantly. Bella's face and body were shifting. I kept talking, pretending not to notice the officer's expressions darkening. On New Year's Day, Bella was brought in for questioning. Bryce brought her. He whispered to her not to be afraid. When he saw me eating instant noodles in the lobby, his face twisted. You again? Huh. I raised an eyebrow. I just got called back yesterday. I heard everyone got the same score on finals. The cops said we all had to come back. Bella turned pale. Everyone. Yeah, I smiled, enunciating clearly. The whole school. She almost collapsed. Bryce looked at Bella, wanted to say something, but swallowed it. Just then, the PhD student who called the cops stormed down the hallway. Is that Bellachine? He didn't wait. He punched Bella so hard she flew backward. Bryce tried to stop him, so the furious student beat Bryce's face in. I dodged left and right with my noodle bowl, narrowly avoiding spilling hot soup on Bella thanks to a helpful officer. I sat down to watch the show. After the brawl, Bryce screamed at the police. The officer ignored him and looked straight at Bella. So Miss Cheen, do you want to know your score? Bella wanted to shake her head, but reality forced a nod. 17.5 million. Everyone in the lobby froze. Bella's lips trembled. Her teeth chattered. She looked at Bryce. Before Bryce could comfort her, the police dragged her into interrogation. They took her phone. Her chat logs with the family were recovered immediately. My mother, Catherine, had gotten the red berry from a master in Thailand. As long as I ate it, Bella would absorb my achievements. The chats discussed how to drain my last drop of value to lift Bella up. Bella broke down instantly. I am the real Miss Jiang. My parents just wanted to help me get back what's mine. What did we do wrong? Her scream echoed. The students who lost their talents went berserk. Bryce and Bella had to be escorted out under heavy guard. She pointed at me screaming, "It's your fault. You did this on purpose. You didn't want me to come back." I stood there holding my noodles, looking innocent. I didn't know you were their daughter." She tried to kick me. This time I didn't block it. The Jiang family was exposed online. Watching the ferocious alumni tear them apart, I felt nothing. I used to be like them, broken, my faith in the world shattered. I had to endure their mockery. Now they were just experiencing what I went through. Bella and Bryce were detained. Rigging a university exam, defrauding students, and using superstitious means to cause bodily harm was a heavy crime. The Jiang parents were summoned. They tried to cut ties with Bryce and Bella to save themselves. I went to see Bella and delivered the good news. Her face, shifting between beautiful and monstrous, contorted in a scream. Why? Why? I learned that initially, she was timid. It was the Jiangs who taught her entitlement. Especially Catherine. The achievement drain was her idea. I decided to help poor Bella. I hired a reporter to film her face. When the footage of her shifting, melting face hit the news, Jiang Corp's stock tanked. Grandpa sighed on the phone, asking me not to pursue it. "Grandpa," I sighed back. "It's not me pursuing them." Back then, I told him my pain, and he only sighed. Now I return the sigh. They tried to buy their way out. But you can't buy off thousands of angry students. Scores can be retaken. But talent? Years of practice? Jiang Corp collapsed. I sold my old shares and bought the dip, seizing control. The police released a statement detailing the family's crimes and promising to help students restore their abilities. The Jiang family of 4 would pay the price. The school released the semester's grades. Sophie and Sarah failed everything. Their parents nearly beat them to death. The prosecution was a slam dunk. Bella, her parents, and Bryce were sentenced to 5 years for fraud and assault. Bella was expelled and blacklisted from education. Grandpa, frail and shaking, tried to hold the company together. At the board meeting, I sat to his right smiling. He nearly had a stroke. "Grandpa, I'm still young. Please make lots of money for me. As long as you make money, I'll listen to you." I never went back to the Jiang house. I owed them nothing. They adopted me against my will to be a blood bag. Everything I have now, I earned. Shortly after going to prison, the family was transferred to a secure medical facility. Doctors harvested heart blood from the parents and Bryce, 9 times each, to mix for a counter curse. But shortly after the ritual began, news came from the facility. During yard time, under the bright sun, Bella exploded. Like a bomb buried inside her, she was obliterated. Reporters learned that since the spring equinox, she had been bleeding from every orifice. Her face changed dozens of times a day. With Bella gone, the campus returned to normal. The despair faded. I sighed, grateful for my luck, and finished filling out my application. With a professor's recommendation, I was reapplying to my dream university. On the day I left, I got one last update on the Jiangs. The parents and Bryce were weeping, begging for my forgiveness. They regretted finding Bella. They regretted being so cruel to me. I heard that karma had come for them. They were starting to shapeshift too. But what does that have to do with me? I have no regrets. The world is wide, and I plan to enjoy it. I hope the Jiangs enjoy their new changes too. The end.